Hello, welcome to the Sharpe Show. So happy to have you with me this evening, right at 7 p.m. on the East Coast on a Saturday. Why am I here on a Saturday? I am here on a Saturday to do an AMA, as I try to do at least once a week. A lot of you guys want to ask me different things and chat about different things, and I'm okay with that. Let's chat about different things. But I always start off with something that usually is bugging me in some way, shape, or form. And something is bugging me. And it may seem silly to some of you, but I think it really does matter in many different ways, particularly in our culture. And that is, I am not going to buy the new Civilization video game, Civ 7. And you may go, Larry, why in the world would I care if you're going to buy that game? Right? Why in the world? Okay, I'll tell you why. I am a huge fan of that video game series. I literally used to play the actual board game that it comes from originally. Yes, I'm a big board gamer geek. I used to play the actual board game back in the 80s. And I actually had the first Civ, the Civ that came in the square floppy disks. Yes, back like in 1990, whenever it came out. I actually bought that game. And I have bought every single Civ game since. I play the game Civilization. I enjoy it. I've played it in tournament level because I do like that stuff. I play that game. I own the board game, like I literally have it. I bought Civ 2, which was like on a CD, and then 3 and 4 and 5. I think I had the option of buying on Steam, but I didn't. I still bought the physical copy. I ordered it in the mail or something, whatever. I forgot I did. And then Civ 6 I bought on Steam, and I played all of those games, every one of them till the end forever, and I've enjoyed every one of them. Some are better than others, but I've enjoyed I like the big picture stuff. I enjoy that kind of thing very much. And I've always liked those games. I have loved them tremendously, right? A lot. Hold on, I got the right mic on. So is that a better mic now? There's a better mic. Okay, there we go. So yes, I now have a better mic. Thank you, Lunatic, for recognizing that I had a crappy mic on. So I've liked the games very much. And I've played them for literally now decades. I've been playing the Civ series, I'm not even joking, in some way, shape, or form for something like 35 years, like that long. And this one I'm not going to buy. That is huge for them. Because a guy like me, I buy everything. Like I buy all of their stuff. And when they came out with the secondary, like the DLCs and the add-ons, I buy all of them. I buy every single DLC. I buy every single game that they put out. Everything. Was my sound cutting it out? Hold on. I guess some of my sound's cutting it out. Hold on. Make sure it's connected here. Did I screw something up? I hope this is getting better. Hold on. Let me try this here. I don't know why my sound is cutting out. Let me try it one more time. Hold on. Let me pop my settings up one more time to make sure we got this right. And all right, let's hope that this is now good. Is my audio better? I hope it is. So we'll see. I'll keep trying to push this if I can. Rick says, War at Sea, Battle of Midway, and Risk all my faves. I like all of them. I completely agree. I like every one of them. I would agree with him on all. Wait, my sound is still cutting out? All right. Here is what I am going to do. I'm going to pop myself out and back in, and let's see if it works. All right. Is that any better? I hope it is. I'm trying to make my settings better. I'm seeing if I can get my settings better. Let me see if I can make my settings to be a little bit better. Okay. I hope my settings are better now. I'm trying to fix it. I hope I did. Did I fix it this time? Let me know if it's better. All right, good. So I think we're good now. I hope we are. Any case, yes. War at Sea, Battle of Midway, and Risk were my faves. I loved all Avalon Hill games. I loved all of them for sure. I actually played War at Sea often. I didn't play Battle of Midway much at all. I played Risk. I used to play Risk for money, as I told you. All those things. Loved all those things. The first game I ever bought from Avalon Hill was a game called Luftwaffe. That's the first game I bought. But for those who don't know, that is the German Air Force. That's what it was called. At least then it was. So that was the first one I bought. And I picked a bunch of them. But my point being, I'm the guy who said no. Why? Did they do something that made me think, I don't want to touch this anymore? Yes. You might go, Larry, wait a minute. What happened? I'm going to tell you what happened. In this case, they literally started, when they started promoted, they led with leaders who weren't leaders. They led with leaders who were women of color. And I might go, Larry, are you against women of color? Not at all, in any way, shape, or form. Of course not. But when you play games, you're a gamer like me, my type, right? That type of gamer. You have to have a balance between realism and playability. And we all try to find that balance, right? Some of us prefer more realism, and some of us prefer more playability, but go back and forth. Risk is a very playable game with very little realism. There's some, but very little. It's heavily playable. The opposite piece is, if you are, say, playing the old Avalon Hill game, The Third Reich, that is a very realistic game and very low playability. Either one, back and forth. I got it. No worries. You can go either way. They are wrecking realism in a game just for political gain. Now you might go, wait a minute, what do you mean? They led with a Japanese woman named Himiko, and also with Harriet Tubman from America. Now you're saying, Larry, do you want them to have Harriet Tubman or not? I don't care if they have Harriet Tubman. I don't, to be forward. But that should be a DLC. That should be something that you purchase on the side because you care about that thing. I don't care if you like that kind of thing. I'm not mad at you for that. But if that is what you are leading with, you are telling me what is most important in my game is how I virtue signal, not the value of my game. And I knew that, and I thought so. And then I look at all of the reviews of it. And usually I bought Civ 6 not seeing one review. I assumed it would be good, and I just bought it. I just bought it, and it could have been terrible. I just bought it. 7, I got worried when I saw that. You're leading with that? That's not a DLC. That's not a, hey, if you like these cool leaders who aren't leaders, go buy these, which I would have been completely fine with. That'd have been awesome. But they led. That was the initial push. It wasn't like Civ 7's back, and here's the cool ideas that Civ 7 has, or here's the cool new combat, or here's the cool new politics, or here's the cool new something. No, it was Civ 7's back. Look, black women. That's how they led. And I said, we're in trouble. And I was right. The game is garbage. And it's garbage not because black women. It's garbage because that's what they cared about. That was the push. They got rid of religion. Religion? It's a game on civilization, and they got rid of religion. Why would you do? It's a game of civilization, and you got rid of religion. This is terrible. The worst. I didn't want to hear do this and did it, and now I'm out. But this isn't the beginning of this. This was the thing that triggered me. This is where I got triggered. This started, I saw it in Dungeons and Dragons, another game that I love tremendously. I've been playing it since the late 70s. Yes, I've been playing it since the late 70s. I've been playing Dungeons and Dragons for almost 40 years. I'm the guy who loves it. I'm the dungeon master. I love that stuff. I'm a big geek. I love that stuff. And again, same idea, realism versus playability. You go back and forth on those, right? And when Dungeons and Dragons got bought, the first thing they did was they said, we have too much realism. I'm not joking. Let's make it more playable. And they come up with I forgot what it was. Was it 3rd edition or whatever it was, 4th edition, whatever it was. And they dumbified everything. At that point, the game became mediocre at best because they dumbified everything. At that point, once that happened, they're like, oh, we screwed it up because the old school people hate it and won't play it anymore. So we got to change it, try to go back again. Well, they did try to go back. They did. But after that, they started doing things like saying, oh, we don't want the orcs to have different types of feelings. I'm not joking. Then there's in the Dungeons and Dragons world, for those of you who know, there's a difference between a spirit and a soul. And some people said, well, does it matter? I don't know. That was the rules. Like certain beings didn't have a soul. Certain beings had a spirit, and that was just how it worked. And it mattered when you went to the afterlife. That was what it meant in the game. right? They took that away too, because that's racist. I wish I was joking. Then they took away some of the half classes, the half races. Then they took away races. You couldn't say race anymore. You had to say, it went from saying race, you had to instead go away from saying race, and you had to say species. Make a good game. I don't give a shit about this stupidity. It means nothing to me. And if you don't like it, then when you play, you could then say, I don't want to say that. I want to say this or that. Mike, now see, you messed up on that one. Don't go D&D on me. Humanoids have souls, monsters. Not true. Humanoids are also goblinoids. Goblinoids are humanoids, and goblinoids do not have spirit. Don't have souls. They have spirits. Humans, elves, dwarves have souls. Goblins do not. They have spirits, and they are still humanoids. I'm sorry. You don't make me geek out. I will geek out. I am a super nerd on this. So I'm just saying there is a difference. But by the way, those rules may have changed because now they've changed because whatever, but that's how it was. My point being, now you have guys like me who aren't interested anymore. You have guys who are walking away, and you may go, "Larry, does that matter for them?" It does, because they're losing money. You see a trend now, and the trend is people playing older games, just saying, "I'm not going to buy the newer games anymore." The series are starting to fall apart, right? The series they're starting to fall apart because people just don't want to play them on. You're gonna and the answer they give you is, "Well, obviously you're all an isterophobe. You're a sexist or a racist." No, your games are garbage because you're focusing on the wrong thing. You're having people make the games who don't play games. You're having people make the games who don't care about the games. They care about the message. They don't care about the game. So the games suck. It's not because, the woman is black or white. That isn't the issue. You're focusing on the wrong thing. World War II games. I noticed that too. World War II games. All of a sudden you're playing a World War II games, and you're now going to be a sniper, right, in World War II. And you're going to be a Japanese sniper. And you give you the option to be a female Japanese sniper. What are you, smoking crack? What's wrong with you? Were there some female snipers? There were. Most of them were Russian. There were some. They were minor, but there were some. So now everyone gets to be a woman too. Now you might go, "Larry, you hate women?" No. There were plenty of women heroes that men played. Plenty of them. Laura, remember the Tomb Raider? Laura, the Tomb Raider? Yeah, people played the game all day long. They didn't care playing a woman. South Park did an entire series of episodes about Kenny wanting to play a Japanese princess because he wanted to play a woman. Boys and guys who play don't care. We'll play a woman. We'll play a guy. We don't care. It doesn't matter to us. Is it a good game? That's it. Don't focus on that. The thing that I keep saying, what is making so many of us, and me as the old guys, angry, is that instead of making new games with good female characters, you just take the old games and wreck them. You just take the old games and feminize them or ethnicize them or whatever. Just make new, better games. We don't care. Like, we don't. The very few men who are probably are the ifs or the phobes. There are some, obviously. They care. They're not they'll be fine. The vast majority of us don't care at all. And it drives me crazy. Now you might say, "Well, Larry, okay, why are you talking about this at all? What hear at all about this?" Because this affects culture, particularly male culture. That's the issue. It affects culture because now you get men who start getting angry at this, and we shouldn't be angry at this. I don't want to be angry or bothered by this. I just wanted Civ 7 to have a good game that focused on real leaders. They changed the whole system that now you can't take an ancient system into the modern world anymore, because I guess that's bad now. Everything has just been changed that people don't like. If you want something cool or more feminine or more ethnic or more anything, no worries. Create a DLC, a specialized download, and if you like that, please buy that. I don't care. Good. Buy a DLC where all the leaders are women of color. Awesome. Buy it, play it, enjoy your life. I'm not mad at that at all. Let it be out there. Hey, do you want that? There it is. Make it where you've made the entire world, whatever world you want it to be. No worries. That's a DLC. That's fine. But it's not that. And Mike goes on. He says, same strategy for movies, TV, and all entertainment. They use this to divide and put people in check boxes. Mike, you are exactly correct, and it drives me crazy. Now, I don't think it's on purpose, meaning I don't think the people who are physically doing it are like, yeah, well, divide people. No, they're just getting paid. But I do think a lot of people do think that this is a better thing because it's the message. They're grabbing people who think the message matters. And my point is, if you care about the message, then just make a separate thing that someone can purchase to have the message. I'm okay if you want the message. I'm not mad at you for that. This goes back to the same thing I keep talking about. People don't hate change. That's not it. People hate being changed. They hate being forced to be changed. Give people options, and we very often change. We very often change. In fact, I love Civ. If they had put out a separate DLC that was like, here are the women's civil rights leaders that can play the world, I would have bought the DLC and played with it and seen if I liked any of them. I'm that guy. I would have bought it. I'd have dropped the whatever, $30, whatever they told me to buy for it. I would have bought it, and I would have played with those guys and gals in this case and seen if I liked any of the leaders. I would have done it, right? You would have got me. I would have done it. And there's literally thousands of Civ fanatics like me who would have absolutely bought it and just played with it and seen if it was cool. They wouldn't have cared. They would have absolutely done it. Now they won't. I have actually canceled my Disney Plus. You might go, wait a minute, you like Star Wars and stuff. Why bother? My kids don't like it. I used to have it for my kids. My kids don't like it. And I can't watch any of that garbage. Star Wars now was utter trash. It's just garbage. You're right, Mike. They've made entertainment. It's garbage. It's unwatchable. I don't watch Netflix anymore. I'm ready to get rid of Netflix. It's just garbage. If you see almost any Netflix TV show, it's literally the picture's a picture of young, attractive people of every checkbox. That's every show. Here's a show, and here's a lineup of young, attractive people of every checkbox. That's it. I completely agree. And the question is, I don't know where the hell it's going. And I think what it does is it makes Americans unhappy. It makes us unhappy because, to my point, so many men today, particularly, play video games. Many, many men play video games. Well, if this is what we're saying, this is what we're seeing, you're putting more men into these boxes you speak of, Mike, and the boxes of not wanting to engage, the boxes of everything new sucks, the boxes of I want to go into my corner more. This is not healthy for us as a nation. The men should be out enjoying everything like everybody else, and they're not. And this is not helping. All right, I've yapped away, probably far too long. But this was something that was bothering me, and I wanted to bring this up. I'm happy to take questions on anything, but I will also bring this up. I just think I think it is important. So I know Mike's got something to say. He says it. He goes, I have a ton of things on this topic. What's about from walking? I guess you've already come back. Yes, progressives have to swamp all entertainment to normalize their agenda to gain any traction, and it sucks. Well, let me touch that piece about normalize. The normalized piece you mentioned, Mike. I think that's the right word, and it doesn't work. But that is the right word. And it is, I remember hearing someone saying, he called it, obviously he's mad at women, but I'm going to be very forward. He called it the feminization of entertainment. And if you look at it, South Park did an entire season on this, right? Not season, a show on this, right? It was making fun of Disney and saying, put a chick in it and make it lame, right? Remember that? That was the whole thing. And he was calling it the feminization. And there's something to be said for this. Because if you look at what do women who are upset about things always say, we have to normalize this, normalize this. Men don't say that. We don't care. But men say that. But women say that. I think you're right. They think if they keep saying it, it becomes the norm. The problem is men are checking out, right? Men are checking out. And men, I don't want them to check out. I really don't want them to check out. So, all right. I'm glad I got my sound back for you guys, or for those of you who didn't. I'm glad. So, all righty. Let me see if I can keep going down this road. Vivek says, I played D&D in high school. Risk was interesting. The thing I enjoyed about D&D playing it was that I could make the world, and I enjoyed that. And I like grand strategy. That's my hope. You've seen how I talk here. I like grand strategy very much. That's why I enjoy that piece. So, yes. All righty. Let me keep going down here if I can. Cheyenne says, I like Risk. I also did very much. Michael asks, have you ever played chess? I was taught chess when I was very young. 4, 5. My dad gave me the basic concepts of it. And where I lived in the Bronx, I lived in the South Bronx when I was a little kid. And for those of you who don't know about the South Bronx many years ago used to be a very Jewish neighborhood. Lots of Jewish people in the South Bronx, meant like the 40s, 50s. So I grew up in the 70s in the Bronx. So the only Jews who were left over were old men and old women who were retirees in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s even, who were just left over and didn't bother moving. Well, during the day, they would be in the park, and many of them would be playing chess. So I was probably 6, maybe 7. My dad taught me the basics, and then I would just go over there because my dad always beat me. My dad was that dad who would never let you in. He would whip your ass until you could actually beat him. That was my dad. So he beat my ass constantly in chess. So I said, I'm going to go into the park and I'm going to have the Jews teach me how to play chess. And old Jewish men taught me how to play chess. They were the only ones who would play me. The other guys, they were either thought they were too cool. I'm playing some kid, whatever, or were scared a kid might beat them and look bad. Old Jewish men didn't care. Like, yeah, come here, and sit me down, teach me some moves. I play, and I played for years. And finally, when I was 11, I beat my dad. Last time I played, I beat my dad. There's no reason to play anymore. My dad died. I beat my dad right before he died. That was my goal to play this, was to beat my dad. So I beat him right before he died. I probably played like once or twice after that. I never played anymore. So I used to, when I was little, I used to actually beat the machines. Back when the computers were simple, you could beat a chess machine. I used to beat the chess machines. So back in the day. So yeah. Anyway, so yes. Rick goes on to say Battle of Midway was the best Avalon Hill for Commodore 64. The funny part about that is Avalon Hill was not ready at all for the PC revolution. And SSI, for those who don't know, was a company that kind of took over. SSI basically made bootleg Avalon Hill games better on computer. So yeah, that's what wound up happening. So absolutely. So yeah, no sound bites. Mike says Steve Jackson games. Ogre. I remember Ogre. I enjoyed Ogre tremendously. I remember Ogre. Yes, that was a good game. I enjoyed that one too. So okay. Michael's going to say modern games, all formats suck due to DEI and current day politics injected. D&D is dead as one example. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. The problem is they've never learned. And here's the worst part. I think there were several reasons why they were thinking and why it was done. One of them was obviously, well, if we feminize some of this, then we'll get a larger audience and more women will come in. That was utterly flawed. But some people didn't believe that. Oh, well, because we can do it. Because look, we can do like a Hunger Games and girls will come in. And yes, when you're looking at some, feminine heroes and such, of course a woman will come in. Of course they will. But the game itself is played by men. It doesn't really work so much. So yeah. Cam, thank you for the 499. I'm looking for the join button again, Missy, please. Oh, Missy, this was for you. So there we go. Thank you, Kim. I appreciate that. Thank you for the 499. Yes. So look, I do think there's some truth to that aspect of them trying to do that, but it was obviously failing. That they should have stopped it after the first one, right? It wasn't really working. But it's another piece, which is more recent, and that is the DEI concepts coming from large banking institutions who are saying, if you want the money we're going to give you, you have to follow our rules. A lot of people don't know that. Why would a movie come out which has a bunch of garbage in it, fail, and then they do the exact same thing again? Why? Because they made their money back. Remember, all the directors, actors, and such, they're paid. When they say lost money, that means some investor someplace lost money, but they all got paid, right? They all got paid. That's why the money is lost. It's not like the director lost any money or the actors or the writers lost any money. They didn't lose any money. They all got paid. So then in comes another guy who says, I'll give you some money, but you must do what I say. We go, okay, I get paid again. You get paid again. Okay, writer who sucks and gave me garbage last time, but it checked the boxes that I wanted to be checked. You're hired again. Please check those boxes again. Should I give you the same garbage? I don't really care. I'm trying to sell a message. I don't care if it's garbage or not. Just make sure you check all the boxes and I'll pay you. Writer goes, done. Director, please direct this piece of garbage. It's a piece of garbage. I know, but I'll pay you. Do you want me to make it better? I don't care. I just want a message. Done. And then he pays director. I wish I was joking. That is the reason why they keep putting out garbage. You say, Larry, they got to stop putting out garbage. Why? The people who are physically doing it are all getting paid. The people who want to send a message, they clearly don't care if they lose money or not. They're sending a message. They don't care. The people who are doing it are getting paid. Okay. Right? So if you're a bad writer who just does checkbox garbage, and I keep writing you checks for 6 figures to keep writing garbage, you'll keep writing garbage. Of course. So just keep putting the checkbox stuff. Yeah, checkbox stuff is all good. Because none of this makes any sense. Okay. This is utter garbage. I know. You want to catch a check? I want to catch a check. Then give me the garbage. Garbage it is. And again and again and again. And then one thing that really got me angry when I noticed it in Star Wars, when I really got it in Star Wars, I think kind of my last straw in Star Wars, my last straw was the Obi-Wan series. That was my last straw. After that's when I canceled. I'm like, I'm done. And again, I want to be clear. It's not because it was a black woman character at all. It was because I was tired of the bait and switch. And that was the next thing they used, Mike, which I know you know, which is the bait and switch. Now they started saying, oh, see, this is a show about this other guy that you like. Oh, just kidding. It's about this woman. Well, they should have just said, hey, we're going to make a show. For those of you who know the Obi-Wan's movie, the concept behind it was actually a good concept. The idea, for those of you who like Star Wars, of one of the younglings that was killed by Darth Vader survives and then now wants to somehow kill Darth Vader. That's not a bad storyline. That's actually an interesting storyline. And I don't care if the Jedi happens to be a woman or of color or white. I don't care. That's an interesting storyline. Just say that. Don't call the show Obi-Wan. Call the show, I don't know, Rebel Sith or whatever. I don't know. I'm not a writer, obviously, but whatever. Call it Rebel Sith. And then we know it's not a bait and switch. It's about the Rebel Sith. Okay, I can watch a Rebel Sith movie. And then you don't have to hide her. You don't have to make garbage. Just make it about a Rebel Sith who happens to be a black woman Jedi. Okay, we would have watched it. We would have enjoyed it. Just make a good movie. But you had to trick us and say, it's Obi-Wan. Oh, okay. Where's Obi-Wan? I haven't seen him in like 45 minutes. Because it's not about him, sucker. It's about a message. Now I'm mad. So, yeah. I know I'm getting triggered on this, and it's because they've ruined my game. See, now you've ruined my game, so now I'm mad. See, Mike, they've been ruining your games for years. You're more of a gamer than I am. I only have a couple of, I've only got a couple of games. Can you just leave mine alone? No. You have to wreck them all. That's the problem. So Ryan says, a game of civilization that got rid of religion. Who do they think they are? Disney, Star Wars? Yes, they do. They literally think they are that. Yes, Ryan, they think they are. So Ryan goes on to say, thank you for the $5. Disney Star Wars should retitle the name of the Acolyte from the Acolyte to the Abortion. That's what they did to Star Wars for the series. Yes. Oh my God, that was terrible. I mean, I just saw some pieces. I'd already given up on Star Wars before that piece of garbage came out. I'd already given up on Star Wars before that. I'm already done. I'm already done. And it's just, I don't know. It's already done. It's funny is I show my oldest daughter a lot of the older movies, and she's blown away by how interesting they are. She actually likes them. She's blown away by how interesting they are. It's kind of interesting. So, yes. All righty. The Texas spy historian says, yeah, I got Civ 7. I appreciated, as a counter intel army myself, that they made her espionage. Oh, that's true. Yes. However, the modern attitude was very off-putting. Plus, every time you treat her with, I'm not sure. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay. Got it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. The idea of, again, to be forward, he's talking about how they made the special ability in Civ 7. They make special abilities, right, for leaders, and they made her espionage. I'm not mad at that. I think it's great. Again, make a DLC. You could buy it, and then these are the women who have espionage or whatever. But you led, again, I want to be clear. When I say led, if you see the thumbnail that I put on this, it's 3 women. That's how Civ 7 led. Not, and also we have, no. That was the lead. It wasn't, we have a great new this, we do that. No. Look, women of color. See? That was how he led. That's how I knew it was garbage. And that's the issue. Absolutely. So, alrighty. Let me keep walking down these roads if I may. Alrighty. Shelly says, I don't have anything to contribute to this discussion. For what it's worth, Les, I was made man on Mobsters on, I was a made man on Mobsters on MySpace. That's kind of cool. You still play a little bit. It's fine. Oh, good. Andrea, thank you for being a member. She says, I guess I'm old-fashioned and play rummy, spades, hearts, and unos. No, I like those too. I like board games and card games. I like all those things. I also used to like a couple of video games. I'm not a huge video game player, to be very fair. I'm not huge. I play some, but not huge. I played more video games when my kids got older and they started playing. Like I was playing the kids game. I was playing Roblox, right? Because I got kids. Now the kids are old. They don't play Roblox anymore. So I used to, when they were little, I would play with them. I used to play Minecraft when they were little with them also. I don't really play that much anymore either, but I used to play when they were little. And I'll tell you the interesting story when I started this. My oldest was probably like, I don't know, 11, 12. I don't remember when. Something. And she was young. And she was playing a video game. And like boys were like, kids, I don't know if they were really boys. Kids were like bullying her a little bit. I was mad. So I was like, I'm going to go in. And now I'm going to light you up. Because you messed with my little girl. I'm going to light you up. So I kind of went in to kind of defend a little bit. I did. I'm a dad. That's what I did. But the second thing that got me to stay in those games is, well, because she's little, so some of the older kids try to beat her up. They would know the game better or say things. Well, I've been playing since I'm going to mess you up. It's going to be messed around. You're going to find out. So I was doing some of that too. I was doing some bullying too. So anyway, but it was counter-bullying. Oh, and counter-bullying. But the second piece is, I've told this before, my daughter was by herself on either her iPad or I forgot phone something, and she's watching PewDiePie at the time. At the time, for those of you who don't know, many years ago, PewDiePie was very, very popular YouTuber. Now he's still a little popular, but he's nowhere near what he used to be. He was like number one. He was a big deal on YouTube. And my daughter's watching him. And so I look at what she's watching and I see that she is watching him watch somebody else play a video game. And I was like, I didn't get it. I was like, I don't get why are you watching him comment on somebody else? I don't get it. Why aren't you either playing the game yourself or watching him as a tutorial to play the game? I didn't understand. And she said, Dad, I feel like I'm with him playing and talking. And I was like, okay, I will not have that happen with my kids. I will be there for them and we'll do it together. I mean, they got a Roblox account, got a Minecraft account, all the cool games they played. I'm with you. You can play those games. You can do all those things. You do it in the kitchen or in the living room or in the dining room with the family. I'm around, we do it all together. Let's all play together. And that's what I started doing. So I turned the games like that into the equivalent, Andrea, of board games. So literally the four of us would sit in an area and it'd all be on some kind of device and we play Roblox or we play Minecraft or we play something, but all together in the same room, talking, laughing, joking. I made it a family thing because I didn't want my kids to get stuck in that world to where that's their world and this isn't. I didn't want that world to rule them and not me. I'm their dad. So that's why I kept them all together. And so to this day, I still have all these accounts. I haven't opened a Roblox account. I don't know when, years, but I used to. And you'd be like, Larry, you're playing like this silly little like pet shop game. Yes. Larry, this is like for kids. Yes. But this is for little girls. Yes. I have 2 little girls. Yes. I'm playing little girl games. Yes. I don't care. Yes. Because I want to be there. I don't know what's going on. I'm going to know their friends. I'm going to know what they're seeing, what they're doing. So yes, I will play all the little girl games. Don't care. I don't care if you laugh at me. I don't care what you think. It worked. So I'm with you. I went deep on that one, didn't I? Anyway, so she goes on to say, I stopped watching movies and TV shows because they're all crap. Me too, Andrea. I'm considering dropping a lot of my stuff. Like I've already dropped that. I may drop Paramount next. I may drop Netflix left. I mean, I don't really watch them anymore. Most of the stuff is just, I feel like it's not made for me. That's what I'm going to say. And maybe I'm just getting old. Maybe I'm becoming that old man, Andrea. I'm becoming that, get off my lawn. I'm becoming that guy. Maybe I am. But I feel like it's not made for me. I feel like they don't care if I care. They don't care if I'm happy. I feel like they don't make it for me. So okay, you win. I'll leave. You don't want me here. Okay, I get it. So yeah. Cheyenne says, I trust YouTube for my son more than shows. Yeah. Ryan goes on to say, I love to play Madden until ESPN made TV shows of grown-ass men and women playing and having no clue about anything football. It was making me angry to the point that I thought I was having a stroke. Let me touch that piece, Ryan. What I think is interesting is you do find some women who play the games. But a good chunk of these women play the games so they can go on whatever, TikTok or OnlyFans, that place. I don't want to say the word. I'm going to get canceled. The place where the spicy stuff is, go there, or they go on TikTok or whatever, Instagram, whatever it is, Twitch, Kick, whatever's the cool thing of the day. And the girls look hot and play video games. And boys go, it's hot. And they watch them all day and they'll give them cash. So there's a lot of that. But generally speaking, I mean, we know that the vast majority of people who play video games are not women. The vast majority are men. There are some women who are making money from it for sure. But yes. And that, to be fair with you, a lot of that turned me off. When I started to become, I have watched people play video games before. Usually because I want to learn something or see some interesting tactic or something. And it's almost always games that I personally play or enjoy. Like, if I wanted, like my daughters and I might be in a Minecraft world building something, and I'm going to build something cool. So I would go on YouTube, find a tutorial on how to build a cool thing, whatever is the cool thing of the day, watch it and go, oh, hey girls, let's go build this thing. And then we go out and build the thing because it was cool, right? So that kind of thing, oh, because they thought it was cool. I didn't matter if I thought it was cool, Ryan. If they thought it was cool, we go build that thing, whatever that thing is, right? So that I would do. Or if I'm playing Civ and I enjoy Civ, I'll watch a Civ game so I could, oh, okay, I should use this leader or do this thing, whatever. I do that, sure. But I didn't want to just watch people play a game. That wasn't a thing for me. I didn't really enjoy it. Now, there was an exception. I did enjoy, for those who don't know, PewDiePie did an entire massive series on Minecraft. I loved watching it. Here's why. It was me and my girls laughing at the dumb stuff that PewDiePie did. The game was background. The game was the excuse to watch PewDiePie and laugh with my girls. That stuff I love. I'll do that all day long. Like, I'll go do that right now. Like, if my girls were like, hey, let's go watch PewDiePie. I'm like, guys, I'm out. I'm going to go watch and laugh and watch PewDiePie. Another guy my youngest one likes very much is Corey Kenshin. I don't know if you guys ever watch him. She loves Corey Kenshin. She thinks he's great. So we'll watch Corey Kenshin together and laugh. And he plays video games. But again, it's not because of the game. I don't care about the game. It's because Corey Kenshin's funny or PewDiePie's funny. Or even, I don't think they're funny. My daughters think they're funny. And that's what I care about. So, yes. You guys got me going long with some of these things. I appreciate it. One I did not bring up. Garrett, thank you, my friend, for coming in. Sharpe membership gift. Guys, please grab the membership if you can. It does matter if you can do so. I would love you to do that. If you have not clicked the button known as Lima India Kilo Echo, I don't know why you have not. Please share and repost this if you would. Of course, you can super chat me, go to the front if you like. You can also rumble rant me, goes right to the front. Otherwise, I am more lenient on AMAs. I take more questions and comments that aren't super chats and more question and comments that aren't members because it is an AMA. I'm more open on this day. If you have not subscribed to YouTube, please do so and make sure you click all notifications. Please follow me on Facebook. Follow me on X. Have you not followed me on X? Why not? Follow me on Rumble. I need more followers. Of course I do. More of them. Please do so. And if you can, take a membership. Remember the rules, though. If you made $10 million this week, you may not take Garrett's membership. If you made $9 million, you may. But if you made $10 million, you may not take his membership. You have to buy it. You made $10 million. Stop complaining. $249 per month if you made $10 million this week. Okay? So $49 per month. Or if you want to go on Rumble, you can. $49 per month on Rumble. Click the subscribe button only during the live. So I do want to say thank you for that. And Garrett, of course, always coming in hot as you always do. So thank you for that. I want to head over to Rumble for a minute if I could. Let's see here. Space Jason, how are you? Says, I work in animation, 27 years. Seen it go from male nerd dominated to mostly genderless people who use pronouns. That's the other piece. That's who's going in now. So they think they're doing the right thing. What you're finding with most of the best games now, and I think Mike will back me up on this, and Space, you may also back me up on this. Most of the most interesting best games are now individually or one or two guys being made. And I'm saying guys, not women. I'm not trying to insult women. I'm just saying the reality of it is many of the women or the as you say, generalist people, they're going to organizations. But individual guys and or a couple of guys are getting together and they're making some of the best games out there. That's what's happening now. So most people are going someplace else. And Steam is seeing it. Steam is one of the most popular. There's many ways you can play games, but Steam is one of the most popular. I have a Steam account. If you can like basically buy your game or do that kind, play your game on Steam. Right now, if you look at Steam, the last I checked, I don't know if it's right now, but last I checked, and I checked about 2 weeks ago, a week ago in that area, there were more people playing Civ 6 on Steam than Civ 7. That's not good. That's not good. People playing older games and they're going back. I know guys now who are going back to like way older games. What's the name of that account? Is it GOG? GOG, I think. I have an account from years ago. You can go there and play like older games like the 90s and 80s and stuff. And they're playing those games because they don't want to play these new games. You're right. It is changing completely. He goes on to say nerd culture, production content has been feminized, even though males dominate as consumers. That's the problem. The people who are making games don't play the games. They just want the message. They don't actually play the games. That's the problem. You are correct, Space. I appreciate that tremendously. I think you've hit it perfectly. That's exactly what's happening. And it's a problem. It's a problem. So I'm looking over at Instagram, and Lauren says, ever played anything from the Total War series? I missed that series completely. And I wish I hadn't, because I know a guy who played it. He talks about it all the time. He's saying it's great. And I've just missed it. It's one of I was too busy. I just walked by that series. I never got into that series. I've heard so many good things about it. I probably should jump on it one of these days, but I just haven't. So I do appreciate that. So, okay. Mike, back on. Warhammer 40K is the next major game trend that DEI will kill / feminize. I think that's customs and Space Marines. The trends has made the non-left as miserable as the left society as a result. That is my issue, Mike. Look, if you want to have everything feminized or genderless or ethnicized, I'm not mad at it. You do you, man. And I don't mean, I'm not joking. I'm serious. Please do so. If you want to make a universe in Dungeons and Dragons where everybody's black or everybody's Asian or there's no genders, oh, good. Do you. I'm not mad at it. Do it, right? But then make a DLC for it. People can buy it, and you can do the thing. No worries. You want to make all the Space Marines women? Okay. Buy the DLC because you want that. No worries. But why you forced everybody else to do and wrecking the whole thing? Now you're wrecking the whole thing. Why? The message. Make a better game. And then give people the options of customizing it as they see fit. We have the technology to do it. There is no doubt that if you have a Warhammer game and you want to make a DLC where now everybody goes from male to female or whatever, whatever's the thing you want, I'm sure it could be done. And you can have that game and everybody can be a chick. Oh, good. I'm not mad at it. But why are you forcing? And the forcing is your point, Mike. It's hurting us. It really is. John says, better was Dragon Age Inquisition, where some people were straight, some were gay, and some go either way. There was even a trans person. Everyone knew it, but was not the main focus. Yes, agreed. What people don't get, particularly if you're like 30, many people in that age range don't understand that we were already talking about this kind of thing in the 60s and 70s and 80s. We were already moving towards that. And the country was becoming very acceptable of it. When did it start getting to be a problem? When it became forced. When it became forced. Once you force stuff, I saw it. This is off topic, but still matters. I saw it during the lockdown times. If you were in the city during the lockdowns, most people were voluntarily trying to do the right thing. They were trying to, keep their stores open at certain times. They were putting stickers for 6 feet away. They were doing all those things on their own because is that going to help? Okay, we'll be helpful. They want to keep the stores open, keep people happy, whatever. Then they forced it. Everybody fought back. Everybody fought back. When you force people, they don't want it. Andrew says, I knew the big banks went on this. They are. Yes, a big piece. That's accurate. Remember, do you know where that whole idea of the DEI and the social things, all that kind of stuff, that all came from the big boys, the Black Rocks and the Vanguards. So now if Black Mark owns X percent of a movie company that I'm sorry, probably a production company, and says, "Hey, you want to produce this movie? How much movie's going to cost you? It probably costs us $10 million to make, $20 million to promote. Okay, we'll give you $10 million to make it. What promotion? Don't worry about that. We'll take care of it. Oh, well, this movie's going to. I mean, okay, we'll do it, but if you don't promote it, don't worry about that. We'll take care of that. Okay, well, thank you. We'll start making the movie. Okay, by the way, that character, okay, that's got to stop. That's got to become this. Check this box. Check that box. Check this box. And they're going, well, we check these boxes. It changes the entire movie. Yeah. Well, the movie's gonna suck. But the movie's gonna suck. Yes, I didn't ask you if it's gonna suck. I asked you for $10 million to check these boxes, and they went, all right, done. You've seen some of the actual actors walk away and say that. I know you've seen them. Well, we knew it wasn't that good, but what? Because they paid the guy $2 million, whatever was the fee, to be in the movie and say the dumb lines. He's like, thanks for the money, and walked away. You're also finding some of these new actors, some of the older actors won't take these positions anymore because they don't just want the check, right? Once you're an established actor and you've made your money, you're not going to go take the check anymore. You want to make a good movie. So if the movie's going to be garbage, you don't take it. You're a new actor. You're like, I'll take that. I need to pay my bills. Okay, here's a hunk of garbage, but it pays how much? $1.5 million. I guess I'm in a hunk of garbage then. That's what's happening now. You're seeing it more and more. However, here is the good news. There is good news. People like me and others are seeing this and going, stop. And we're just not doing it. We're just not doing it. Like Netflix, I'm starting to get emails from Netflix now. Why? I don't go on Netflix anymore. I'm about to cancel. I don't go anymore. Right? I'm about to cancel. Paramount Plus was sending me because I haven't gone on in months. I've been on. I don't go on. And I had all of the things for my kids, but my kids don't go on anymore. They even think it's garbage. And I have 2 Gen Z girls, and they hate it. So what does that mean? It means it sucks because in theory, they're marketing directly to them. In theory, in practice, it still sucks. They're the ones who tell me, Dad, get rid of that. I'm not watching anymore. All right, get rid of that. Dad, get rid of it. Okay, I'll get rid of that too. I'm only paying for them. So if they don't watch it, I'm canceling. So I'm starting to cancel stuff because they're not watching. And eventually, over time, they'll go, oh, this doesn't work at all. Like, we can't get anyone to get a message. No, the reason why you can't get the message is because you force it. That's the reason. So Andrew says, I gave up when The Last Jedi was released. I only stayed for Mandalorian, but then didn't care for the later works. Yeah, I didn't mind. When they made the Jedi, the girl Jedi. I didn't care. But then you could just see how it was. Okay, and now her partner is black and his kind of girlfriend is Asian. I'm like, damn, can you check every box? And then the android is like a freedom fighter for the rights of androids. I'm like, why you okay? Man, you couldn't just done like one of them or something. Yeah. It's just, yeah. And every bad guy is a white guy. Right? Every bad guy is a white guy. All right, I got it. Just okay. You don't have to hit me over the head. I get it. White guy bad. I got it. Non-white guy good. I'm sorry. Non-white person good. White guy bad. Got it. Okay. You could just put that as a title and I'd just been okay. The message is there. You can keep moving now. But yeah, that was a pain. Any case. So, alrighty. Anthony, thank you for being a member. Larry, I've come to realize ideas are only made popular through the mouths of persons who utilize shock and all tactics, a la Donald Trump. Where is America's Malay? I don't want you to be right, but I fear you may be. Right? I don't want you to be right. I want us to be able to move in a way that we don't require that every single time. Because the problem is the shock becomes so harsh when we shock. A lot of people pay a price. Don't get me wrong. Malay is working, but people did suffer on the way there. and I'd like less people to suffer. So, yeah. Shelly says, yeah, I was a hitman. So I had a lot of offensive stuff while the writers were all defense. Oh, look at you. I like that, Shelly. You hardcore. That's good. I like that. Yes. Ryan says, I watched the first 3 episodes of The Acolyte and rage quit. Yeah, I didn't even touch The Acolyte. I couldn't even touch it. I was already done. And I think of all the people here who are just doing that. We're just done. We don't watch anymore. We can't. It's utter garbage. User says they ruin everything. I would have never been political if they didn't come from my hobbies. I cannot tell you how happy I am that you said that. That is literally my point. Thank you for that. Most people don't care about this stuff. Most people don't care about trans problems, gay. Most don't care. Are there people who hate trans people and gay people? Of course they exist. I'm not going to say there's no such thing. Of course, the average person doesn't care. But the average does not care. Just wants to live their life. That's it. But when you start messing with their kids, oh my God, or you start messing with their livelihood, they go, why are you bothering me? Leave me alone. You know what? Now I don't like you. Now I don't like what you like. Now whatever you like, look, if I tell Ryan, hey, Ryan, I think baklava is a nice dessert. This is my opinion. And if you add a diner, you should try some. He might go, okay, Larry, thanks for that, whatever. And he might try some at a diner. And he might like it. And he might order it again. Maybe, I don't know. But he might. Because I just said, hey, I think it's a nice dessert. You should try it. I mean, at a diner, he might do it. If I say, Ryan, every time you go to every diner in your area, I'm changing the rules. I'm forcing them that the only dessert they can give out is baklava. That's it. So you get. He would hate baklava, even if he likes it, because now I'm forcing him. Now it's like, I'm not going to eat that. You going to force me? I'm not eating now. Now it sucks. It's the worst dessert ever. Now he's going to hate it. But he might actually like it. I mean, I don't know if you like it or not, Ryan. I'm making this up. But in theory, he could like it very much and just go no because Larry's trying to force me. But if I just say, hey, try it, he'll try it. He still might hate it, but he would try it and he won't be mad at me. He might go, Larry, I tried the baklava. Yeah, wasn't my thing. But he might go, Larry's the greatest I've ever had. And that's my point. They're coming for you and now you're coming for them. Yes. John says, the crazy stupid thing in Civ 6 was the climate change and land actually disappeared under the waves. I remember that. Yes. But I didn't mind that. I didn't mind the idea, right? Because you could like build stuff around it and fix it and stuff. You could use technology to stop it, right? So the climate change piece, you were allowed to use technology. And it also made it something else. It also made it a lot. It made it to where nuclear weapons had a higher price, which I liked that part of the game. I didn't want and we just nuke everybody. So I did like it that it actually made a higher price. So I actually wasn't mad about that. I think the playability in that, in my view, made it okay. So yeah, that's what I think. That Liberty says, I guess I'm a dork for knowing absolutely nothing about anything Larry's talking about. It's the opposite. I'm the dork. You're not. Back in the day, I played Super Mario 3, NASCAR, and Tetris. Tetris, by the way, still very popular. Simple game, still very popular. Sean says, couldn't this also just be an aging out of the demo or given hobby or etc.? Again, marketing goes for easy money, not loyalty. In theory, that could be true. And I don't doubt that some people thought that. I do think some people thought, hey, let's bring in younger, to Space's point, non-gendered people. And then that's what the world's turning to. So let's go there and get the games. In theory, I could see that. But in practice, that's not working at all. As I said, if you go to places like Steam and others, the older games are being played. And there are now, I think it's called GOG. I forgot. I have an account somewhere. I forgot. That's an actual, like a Steam, but you can play older games. None of the new games are on that. Like you play a game from like 1995, like that kind of thing, right? Because there's a market for that. People aren't doing it. So if we're aging out, great, but then they're literally losing money. So not a good idea. The youngsters either aren't playing, like my daughters are, 14 and 20. They're Gen Zers. They're Gen Z girls. They don't play this stuff. They still, once in a while with me, will play like Roblox or something, right? That's it. They don't play these games. My daughters would know nothing about this. No idea. They don't play any of these games. None of them. None of these games. And their friends that their friends don't play either. So this is just because if their friends played, they would play because their friends play. They'd be social with their friends as I play with them but when they were little, 8, 12, little, they would play Roblox or Minecraft because their friends did too. And sometimes I play with their friends. Their friends would be on it, see them, whatever. We play it all together, right? Whatever. So if they may be thinking this, and I could see them thinking this, but it's definitely not working. So if they were thinking it, it is failing, and they should have figured it out a long time ago. So either way, no. Excuse me. Dave says, I stopped watching Star Wars after part 1, The Phantom Menace. I didn't watch the re-edited version of Star Wars, The Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi. Yeah, I didn't drop out that fast. I held on for a bit longer, right? I held on for a bit longer. So, but yeah, a lot of people are leaving. So yeah. K. John says, I'm a boomer. I liked Pong. That's about it. Now I love Word Trump. Look, Pong is still, was still a classic game. Absolutely. Let's see. Mike says, it isn't about age and memory. Current games sell worse and more DAI sensitivity writing involved. Yeah, Mike's correct. This is accurate, right? Is it possible they thought that? Maybe. I mean, I don't know, but they might have. It's possible they thought, hey, if we do this, it will work. But Mike is right. The data is in. If they did think that, I'm not saying they did, but man, they should have figured out it was failing years ago. This failure isn't a new trend. It's a new trend for my game, which is why I'm triggered now. But it isn't it's been a trend for a while. It's obvious, right? So while it may have been that, it is clearly no longer that, even if it was. Let's see here. He goes on to say polls, sales, and streams all trend to higher results for all the games. Correct. Movies and TV too. Correct. Michael's 100% correct in this. Yes. And again, my point to your point, Sean, it might have been that 10 years ago, maybe. But if it was, the data has been in for a long time. It's clear that's not working. It is obvious that's not working. Ryan says, when I was in the Marines, a group of us Marines would play NASCAR video game drunk as heck. Oh, cool. It was fun until you crashed out of the race. We had tournaments every weekend. I'm going to tell you something we should not have done, but we did. Both when I was in the Marine Corps and after I got out and I was still hanging on bases here or there, we had a couple guys who were in the Air Force we knew. And they had the big Air Force computers, like the big terminals, where all the big stuff happens. And we'd all go together and we'd play Warcraft on the military, on the government computers. We'd all go on and play because they were all connected to the same thing. So we'd all play Warcraft on that one. That's back when it first started, the first Warcraft. So that 92, 94, whatever that was. It was the 90s. So yeah, we played Warcraft, whatever game we could play. There was another game called Command Headquarters. That was like from like 89 or something. We used to play that one too. So we used to play on the government computers. Literally shouldn't be doing it. It's literally like war games where he goes to the CIA government computers. We were literally doing those computers. We should not have done that, but we did. So yeah, absolutely. All righty. Let me walk down if I can. John was going to say, my kids are older, 30 to 35, but Sunday night is still game night. It's just online now. I'm not against that, right? My view has always been, I don't want my kids in another world that I'm not around. I want them around. I want to be around them somehow, right? I want to know what's going on. And if that makes me a helicopter dad, whatever, I don't care. I'm actually very open with my kids doing whatever they want in general. I just want to be able to know. I want them to know two things. I want them to know that if something goes wrong, they can always come to me. And I tell them, I say, if something goes wrong, you're in trouble. Do not call your mother first. Call me first. Because your mom will scold you first and help you afterwards. I will help you first and scold you later or never, but I will help you first. And I also tell my daughter something else. I am the only person on this planet who will help you bury the body. That's all I'm saying. I am the only person on this planet who will help you bury the body and keep his mouth shut. The only one. So yes, but it's something else. I want to know what my daughters like and care about so that I can be connected to them. So I personally have never watched PewDiePie myself.
I would have never played Roblox or Minecraft. I would have never played those games on my own. I would have never done that. But now when they make Minecraft jokes or have Roblox concepts or joke about PewDiePie or whatever, or Corey Kenshin, I get it. Like I'm in on it with them. And that's what I wanted to be. So I wanted to be part of their life. So, many, many dads years ago, whatever book their kid was reading, they would read to be part of their life. My daughters weren't doing that. They were playing video games. So I played the video games they played, and I didn't care what they were. Right. Yeah. Hope that makes sense at least. So, all righty. Let me grab it. Dave says, hit the like button. Yes. Do that. I don't know why you haven't. Please. Yes. Absolutely. Andrew says, subscribe to PewDiePie, lads, but first subscribe to Live with Sharpe, lads. Yes. You guys are both right. Do both of those. Please do those. 100%. Yes. All righty. Let me see if I can go down here some more. Mike says, Mike, you got a lot of this is like your thing. You're a bigger gamer than I am. Mike says, lots of people watch a game to see if it's worth buying. Yep, some people do. And the problem is I didn't before. This is the trigger point for me, Mike. I was such and had been such a Civ geek and loyalist that I just bought the games. I was like, I'm buying it. It doesn't matter. And Civ 1 through 6, I just bought. Didn't know anything about them. Didn't care. I was a loyalist. I bought it. I used to buy all the Dungeons & Dragons. I used to buy all the modules that came out. This is back when it was paper. I would buy them all. Didn't care. Just buy them. I was loyal. Just buy. That's what I would do. Right? And they knew that. But when they, again, if they had started out with something other than that, and then later said, again, I want to be very clear. I'm not against, I took my daughters to see the Harriet Tubman movie. I'm a descendant of slaves. There is no way I'm against Harriet Tubman, so please don't come at me that way. That's silly. I'm not against Harriet Tubman at all. You lead with that? Well, why does that matter? She wasn't a leader of America. She was an American hero. Accurate statement. So have a Heroes DLC where you can use heroes now, and you can make Hercules, the Greek one, and you can make Harriet Tubman, the American, or whatever. Fine. It's good. Do that. No problem at all. They led with it. And I was like, you didn't lead with, like, I don't know, George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, Teddy Roosevelt. I don't care. Whoever. You didn't lead with any of them? You led with that? I knew it was bad. That was my trigger to get scared. And that's when I actually watched before I bought. First time ever, Mike. First time I ever did it. They warned me, and I was like, I'm listening. I listened. So, all right. He goes on to say, and or to learn more for games they enjoy. Yep, I did it. I did that all the time. Civ 5 and 6, I watched videos. I did. Yep. But politics is injected just to shove down a throat. Yes. It's based on repetition, generates obedience. It generally does. And I think even if they had done this, but they hadn't led with it, I might have still bought it because I was into it. I was in that repetition piece. If they hadn't led that way, if they hadn't pushed it like that, I might have bought it. Just being very forward. I might have bought it. So Shelly says, I babysat a Vietnam veteran's son one day, and he was playing Sim Park on my computer. And he was just dropping garbage cans on people's heads in the park. He turned out, well, I'm happy to report. Nice. Yes. That can be funny. I agree. Yes. And I did play Sims too, because my oldest played Sims. So I played that too. Very weird, but that was just, she enjoyed it, so I played it. I didn't care. Again, same thing. I didn't care. I just played it. So, all righty. Let me grab a couple of these if I can. Grace says, my dad got into ballet because I got into ballet. Yes. I get the girl video games. You're a good girl, Dad. Yes. I'm into what my kids are into. That's what I'm into. Yes. That's what I'm into. And when my youngest was into like Littlest Pet Shop toys, I was in the flow with the playing Littlest Pet Shops. Yep. And when both of them liked the My Little Pony series. Both of them did. So like I know some of the like difference between like a Alicorn and a Pegasus, and there's a difference between the two. Like I had to learn the differences between each one because it matters. So yeah, 100%, absolutely, yes. I was learning it all. You are correct. Yes. All All righty. John goes on to say, Medieval Total War 2 was one of my favorite games. There we go. All right. Let me grab some more of these. All right, Mike, you got a lot of. This is like your. I should mention I brought you on for this show. I didn't think about it, but I didn't think we stayed so long. I thought we'd go off on other topics, but this seems to be a good one. I guess I picked a good topic. I thought we'd be going off other stuff. Mike goes, they're destroying 40 years of lore, which is the major reason why people love it. Correct. Same Star Wars, Trek, Marvel, DC. This is the next piece. Yes again. You know me, Mike. I love classic Star Trek. Love it. I thought Next Generation was, I wasn't loving it. It was okay. It's fine. It wasn't great. I thought DS9 was great. Then it started getting terrible. Now Star Trek stuff is unwatchable. It's unwatchable. They've destroyed something that I loved. Why? For the message. They destroyed it. And now it's gone. And it's wrecked. And people got paid. And I've lost something that I enjoyed. You're right. Star Wars. I love Star Wars. Mike, me and you saw Star Wars in the movie theater. I know we did. I mean, you didn't tell me that, but I know you saw it in the movie theater. So did I. We saw it in the movie theater. We loved it. Blew our minds when we first saw Star Wars. She's like, what? Blew our minds when we first saw it. Of course. Now, it's unwatchable. It's unwatchable. I was a massive Marvel and DC fan. Massive Marvel and DC fan. I've had all the comic books, the whole deal. It's my childhood. Now, the shows they put together, they're unwatchable. They're just garbage. They're unwatchable. It's just and again, to the earlier part about aging out, if, and this is the if, it's not true, but if they had garnered a brand new audience of millions and around the world, hundreds of millions of people were watching it, and I was the sole guy not watching, me and Mike were the old guys going, this is my garbage, get off my lawn. If that were the case, they would be right. They'd be making tons of money. It'd be quality stuff. Me and Mike just too damn old. That's would be the problem. But that's not the problem. It's not the problem. Because they're still losing money. And they're still losing market share. And not only are guys like me and Mike leaving, but again, I keep saying this. I have 2 Gen Z daughters who are like, this stuff is garbage. This stuff is shit. So, Mike, you are correct. I'll go back to it. Maybe they thought it was correct, but I don't think they did. And the reason why I keep saying I don't think they actually thought that's what they were doing is because once the data came in, which to your point, Mike, is clearly obvious, once the data came in, they would have stopped. They're like, oh, we thought that we have to feminize this stuff and put the generalist people into writing it, and then we'll get this massive market and we'll make tons of money. Okay. Well, let's try it. They do it. It's 3 years later. This is failing. Let's stop. This is failing. I don't care. Okay. Missy says, I'm Gen X. My game was the original Atari. Yes. Playing either Pac-Man or Space Invaders. I remember both. Until my thumb would go numb. Yes. I remember. Yes. 100%. I remember. Exactly right. Yes. Grace says, why are we bombing Yemen? Does this concern you? Off topic, which is great because this is AMA. So yes, we are bombing Yemen because of the Houthis. That's why. Does it concern me? Yes, we should not be bombing them. We should stop bombing everybody, to include the Houthis. We're bombing them because they are trying to stop traffic from going through the area, which we can avoid if we want to, and we should leave them alone. Lots of people would disagree. I don't want us bombing anybody. We should not bomb them. We should not be fighting all these wars. We should come home. This is a terrible idea. Now, here's the problem. We are actively involved with Israel and Gaza. The Houthis are 100% backing Hamas and Gaza. They are. So as we fight them, they're going to fight us. I would like us not to be in any of that. But if we're going to be in that, this is the price we're going to have to pay. I don't like it. That's why it's there. So I hope I answered your question. I can't stand it. So yes. Juan, how are you, sir? Larry's right. I'm still playing older games like Call of Duty 2, Portal, and Half-Life. I loved Half-Life. Yes. I actually finished Half-Life twice. I enjoyed it so much. I finished Half-Life. I finished the entire game, went back again, finished the entire game again. I loved Half-Life. That Half-Life to me was the game I was waiting for since Doom. I loved Doom. I finished Doom multiple times. I finished Doom 1, Doom 2. Doom, and then no, there's 3 that I finished. But Doom and Doom 2, I finished both of them multiple times. I love those 2 games so much. And when Half-Life came out, I was like, this is my game. After they made Doom 2 or something, all Doom games have been just not good. They lost the first person shooter thing and made it something else. I haven't liked the newer Dooms at all. I stopped playing them. So yeah, I did enjoy Doom and Doom 2 very much. And Half-Life, loved Half-Life. One of my favorite games. I remember the part about Half-Life that bothered me the most was the first time, for those of you who played the game Half-Life, there's a part during the series that no matter what you do, you get taken captive and lose all your cool stuff and start all over again. And man, I played that. I rebooted like 7 times trying to figure out a way. How do I not get caught? I don't want to lose all my stuff. Like, how do I not get caught? I must have gone like 7 times. And then like, okay, it's done. I still remember that part. And that's, I don't know how many years ago. So I did enjoy that tremendously. That was great. So Robert says, if society was already trending towards accepting LGBT or the colorization of different characters, then wouldn't execs think that it'd be safe to be more inclusive? There's a difference though, Robert. Yes, I think you're right. That could be true. And I think they were being more inclusive. The issue that we have is you began to be punished if you weren't. There's the difference. You were becoming punished if you weren't. It was now, you must accept whatever I say, regardless of whether you think it or not, and as fast as I say it. That was the issue. But I think you're right. They would have thought, oh, we can go further. And I think you saw that. You saw that as early as, I would say as early as the Jeffersons in the 70s. As early as that. That show was very popular, made lots of money. And from that show, I think other people went, oh, so we can put Black people in TV and we can still make money. Huh. Let's try that. Again, I'm not saying they cared about Black people, but they were like, oh, we can make money off that? Okay, let's do that. And they did it. And I think you see it move on from Fresh Prince, Family Matters, tons of them, right? But what you didn't see much of was integration relatively. It was still heavily segregated for a while, for a long time. The problem was now it was a force, and that was the problem. It was forced. But when you just allowed people to watch shows that had different people, colorization, LGBT, whatever, I think people are like, okay, we don't really mind. Remember, there was a comedian from the early 2000s. He's still around, but not as much. Got him, Eddie Izzard. He's not really trans. I mean, I think he self-identifies as a cross-dresser. I forgot how he identifies. Or does he self-identify as a transvestite? I'm not sure how he does. Anyway, he likes women. He's a male who likes women who dresses like a woman. Whatever that is what he is. He's been very popular in movies, TVs, shows, and for years. And people, well, whatever. Look at RuPaul's Drag Race. Oh my God, super popular for how many years now? I think people, as long as you don't force it, some people will be happy and will take it. I think that's the issue. So, yes. Shannon says, you know what I hear? A huge business opportunity for programmers. Take lemons, make lemonade. That's already happening. And here's why it's happening. Because ChatGPT programs. Yes, it does. It programs. For those you don't know. So that's why a lot is being done. They're using AI. So I have an idea. I'm not a programmer, but if I was a programmer, to your point, and I want to make a game, I can use AI. I don't require a team anymore. I wish I was joking. I don't require a team anymore. I can use AI to make an actual video game. And I don't need a team anymore. Very true. So yes, that's already happening. And that's why you see that these guys are losing money. The problem actually is intellectual property. The reason why Disney can keep putting out garbage and be fine is because its licensing is so damn profitable. That's the reason why. You want to make Star Wars this, Star Wars that, blah, blah, blah. Why do you think Paramount won't give up Star Trek? Even though they've been making garbage. They've been making garbage for years. Why won't they give it up? Because licensing. That's where their cash is made. Make tons of money licensing. Other people make stuff. So now I can make my own game, but now I can't really make a Star Trek game or a Star Wars game. I mean, I'm not going to make my own. I'm not a programmer, but in theory, I can make my own game. But I can't make those because I don't have licensing. And of course, the way IP works, I'll be long dead before I can use Star Wars. So anyway, Robert says, it seems to me that people are not accepting, as people like to say. I disagree completely. I think we are more accepting than people say. Most people say, and I hear all the time, oh, America's a racist country, America's a sexist country. I hear that all the time. As a nation, demonstrably not true. Demonstrably not true. Now, are there ists and phobes in the country? Yes, and yes, 100% yes. But is the country as a whole that? No. It's not misogynistic either. And people get mad when I say that. It's just not as a country. We're not. Are those people around? Of course they are. Like, what's your evidence? Okay, great. Where is the excessive violence against people of color or different religion compared to any other nation in the world? You can't show me data showing that. You can't. Where is the excessive violence against women compared to other nations in the world? Where's it so excessive here? You can't show me that. Not just that. 2016, America as a whole voted for a female president. Hillary Clinton won the popular vote. Hillary Clinton won the popular vote. She lost the election because of the Electoral College, of course, but she won the popular vote. So of the people who voted, most of them, as Americans, voted for a woman. Yes. And those who didn't vote didn't care enough. So they weren't mad at her. Whatever. They didn't care. 2008 and 2008, 2012, America voted for a black man. Twice. As a whole. So, yeah, America's accepting, very accepting. America voted athlete of the century, Muhammad Ali. Of the 20th century, Muhammad Ali, black Muslim. And you don't find Americans mad at that. Like, yep, it's true. Yes. I don't see evidence of America as a whole. I'm not saying there's no racism. I'm not saying there's no sexism. I'm not saying that. I'm saying I don't see evidence as America as a whole being this horrible, racist, sexist country. It's not true. The average American does not care. The average American. Now you might go, and here's the problem. Yeah, but they have to care. That's when people get mad at you. To user's point, that's when people get mad at you. I don't want to care. I want to live my life. I don't care what religion you are, what gender you are. I don't care what race you are, ethnic background. Let me live my life. No, you have to care about this ethnic group or this ethnic people that think, no, now I don't like you. Now I'm mad. And now I'm going to say things that are going to sound really racist or sexist, not because I am that, but because I want to piss you off because I'm mad at you and I want to own you. That's why I do that. Happens every day. So I would argue the opposite, Robert. I think America, again, as a whole, is actually more accepting than most people would say. Again, be clear, I don't want the all police to come get me. I'm not saying at all that it doesn't exist. Of course it does. And so does sexism. Of course it exists. Of course it does. Grace says, give me James Earl Jones and Harrison Ford any day of the week over Disney-fied versions of Star Wars. Space Nails is better than anything Disney put out these days. Yes. Yep. All right. Mastermind Hour. In space, no one can hear your inclusion. Cute. Anybody remember where it's from? That is a takeoff of In Space, no one can hear you scream. Yes. Andrea says, it pissed me off the way Luke Skywalker died. The writing in the last 3 Star Wars movies, and I want to be clear when I say this, is so bad they should be embarrassed. The writing in those last 3 movies is absolutely, embarrassingly terrible. Like, Larry, you could have done better? Yes, anybody could have done better. I literally could have taken 4 blindfolded chimps with a pencil in their mouth, put them in a room, and come up with a better story, a better script than that literal hunk of garbage those last 3 movies were. The writing made no sense, insanely bad. Just you're completely correct. It was terrible. Embarrassment. They wrecked the entire, like the first three were bad, meaning the series 1, 2, 3. Not, yeah, you know what I mean. The ones from like the 2019, 1990s, 2000s. That one, that was bad. But the last one was just, I mean, if I ever did like a movie night where I could watch it and not get completely, shut down, I would just go through that and we would just watch each movie for like 3 hours and laugh at the absolute insane stupidity of that movie. Those movies are terrible. Mike says Ray sucked because she was Mary Sue rather than a character like Mary. Yes. Oh, for you guys know what Mary Sue is. Yes. All right. Mary Sue is when the writer just basically puts themselves into it. I want to be cool, so I'm going to put myself as this cool girl who does everything right. And the girls, I'm a boss babe and all the men love me. And even though I'm a boss babe and I get everything right, that's the Mary Sue. And that's a very common thing, which again, the writing is garbage, right? It's not how it works, right? Nobody's good at everything. And you might go, well, your men are. No, they're not. If you watch the best male characters written, they're always flawed. Always. Because you can't have everything, right? So the male lead who's the awesome, whatever killer, he lost his family because he's a crappy father. Or he lost his job because he couldn't keep his mouth shut to his boss or something. There's always a problem. He is flawed. He's really good at this one thing, but he's flawed in others. Female characters, awesome at everything. Awesome at everything. They're great at everything. They're the best. Everyone loves them. And the male characters, the powerful male characters, some people hate them and don't like them. Everyone loves this. That's the Mary Sue. The Mary Sue is perfect in everything. That's what he means by that, those you don't know. So yeah, thank you for that, Mike. Absolutely. All right, Ryan says, Larry, even the NFL is about the message more than the game. I've been watching other stuff more and more. And they've been changing. They've been getting it. Yes. Andrea says, Ryan, Larry's going to force you to eat a delicious pastry. Baklava is pretty good. So if I'm going to force something, Andrea, that's probably not a bad thing to force, right? If I've got to pick what I'm going to force, right? If I got to force something, it's not a bad thing to force, right? Yeah, absolutely. Mastermind says, is it ironic that inclusion excludes many people? Well, no, it doesn't. This just excludes white guys. Straight white guys. That's all. And for some reason, that's okay. Sorry, straight white guys. I know a lot of straight white guys. I like a lot of straight white guys. I don't have a problem with it, but yes. Mike says, it's like free speech now. You must support the feelings of protesters, but ignore broken law. You're the Oh, don't go down that road. You were doing so good, Mike. You went down that road. That dude that's arrested, utter bullshit. He should not be arrested. Free speech. He's a green card holder. Stop that trash. Totally wrong. You were doing so good. Then you had to mess that up. All right. You see, no. That's your feels. You're like, he's like Shamash. My feels hurt. Arrest him, Trump. That's you. You're the one with the feels. He doesn't like Hamas. He likes Hamas. So what do I care? I don't care. Is he beating somebody up? No. We discussed this already. It's protected speech, even if you're a green card holder. We let him in the country. He's a green card holder. Protected speech. No. He should not be arrested. Should be disappeared. Should lost his green card. Utter bullshit. No. You're utterly wrong on this one. All the rest of you was so good, Mike. What did you do this one for? Anyway. Mastermind says, I played Minecraft with my son, but I always ended up digging tunnels. You know what's funny? Interesting story. It shows what a dad I am. My daughters, when we play together, I play with one or both of them, whatever the case may be. They always like make pretty things. I know, women, but I'm teasing. But no, they're little girls, and they like making pretty things. And to make the pretty things, and for those who don't know how Minecraft works, you have to go out and get the thing. Like you got to chop down a tree to get the wood or dig a mine to get the stone or something. That's how the game is played, for those who don't know. So they want to build something. And I'm like, oh, okay, what are you going to build? We want to build this thing, Dad. And I'm the guy who goes out and gets the wood or the stone or whatever, or the flowers. You can collect flowers and plants and animals. And then they want to make a zoo. So we got to go collect the animals and get the mule, not the mule, get the horse. Yeah, I had to get horses and then got to get pigs and chickens and put them in the thing. Yeah. So yeah, I always did I did the work so they could build a thing. So that's how it always worked. So anyway, that's good. All righty. Let me grab some more of this if I can. Andrea says, Larry, you haven't canceled Netflix yet because you're the only one watching Meghan Markle. Does she have a show still? Oh my God. Now maybe I go check it out now. I may have to. Yeah. No, I might have to watch that. I'm gonna look for it. I'll see. That's kind of interesting. But no, yes. Grace says, you're making me tear up, Larry. My dad was my best friend. My mom would beat my ass. My dad turned a blind eye to the ass beatings I handed out. He was the best friend, and my ride or die. Well, here's the funny part, right? What most in many families, the father has to be the one to say these 3 words, and they're very important if you're a father and you have daughters, particularly if you have daughters and the mother is saying something. These 3 words are really important to say, and you must say them to their mother often. These are 3 words. Leave her alone. Those are the words. I've said them often. Leave her alone. That's it. Those 3 words you got to say. You must take the brunt of the mother. That's what a good father does. He takes the brunt. Because boy, can moms be harsh on their daughters. Man, can they be harsh on their daughters. There isn't a man there to go, leave her alone. You want to beat up somebody? Beat up on me. Yes, I totally get that. I understand it completely. So yes, those 3 words I use often. If you are a father, you have me listening, and you haven't said those words to your kid's mom, you might want to start. Just my view. Grace says, Harriet Tubman will get canceled if she were alive today. True. Absolutely true. Yes. And NY says, wokeism sure is like Baldur's Gate 3, with his 15-minute cutscene lecture on gender identity, or games that originally advertised heavily their historical accuracy, not only throw it out in later games. Yes, that piece drives me nuts. When you have a game that you like because of its realism and they destroy it, that's why you like it, right? That's why you like it. If you want a game that doesn't have realism, you play a game, like a Pac-Man type game, which is just something cool they made up, no realism, mess around. And I'm not against those games, but that's a different type of game. If you want a more realistic game, yeah. So NY goes on to say, oh no, somebody's allowed, don't leave out. I'm not sure what that thing is, but it says, WotC, for those who don't know what WotC is, WotC's Wizards of the Coast, trashed Gygax for the 50th anniversary. Oh, is that right? Gary Gygax, I bought his original game, but you don't know. Gary Gygax is the guy who made Dungeons & Dragons. He based off his first game he ever made, which is a game called Chainmail. He used to have a mail order magazine that was all about gaming. He had the concept of the 20s How to Die and all those things. And the current, I don't know if it's still current, but the last time I remember, the combat system in Dungeons & Dragons is based off of his game Chainmail. I actually had the game Chainmail. So yes, I'm with you. Gygax was a genius. He should never be trashed. He is Dungeons & Dragons Jesus. Shame on WotC for saying that. Shame on WotC. WotC just is a crap company in general. They're a crap company in general, right? So yeah, I'm not surprised. So, all righty, let me keep going here. Robert Reed says, I need more backstory on this game because the major reason for concluding the game was trash was the inclusion of Harriet Tubman. Pearls are clutched. No. That isn't the reason. And see, this is, I'm very clear, and be very clear one more time. Don't come at me with, I don't like Harriet Tubman. That's not something to come at me with. I literally took my daughters to see the movie. Literally, I am a descendant of slaves. I don't say that. What I said was they led. This is Civ 7, the 7th game in the series. That's all about civilization leaders of civilizations. That's what this game is all about and has always been about. And they led with, look, Harriet Tubman in the front. At the thumbnail I posted, she's in front. In case you didn't know, Harriet Tubman is not a leader of civilizations. She's an American hero. That's different. I'm not against American heroes or any heroes. But if you want that, great. That should be a separate DLC that someone purchases, and it could be the Heroes DLC. And now again, you have Hercules, who's not real, but anyway, something like that for Greece. Maybe you have some other heroes, for other places, and American hero is going to be Harriet Tubman. I don't have a problem. Himiko is not a Japanese leader. She was a feminine hero within a certain area of Japan. So make it a Heroes DLC. And you can now have Himiko as your hero. I don't mind. Do you? But they didn't do that. So once that happened, that's when I knew the game was going to suck, because they were focusing on the message, not the game. That was my signal that I knew it was going to be a crappy game. So for the first time ever, as I told Mike, I actually looked up and checked to see what the game was about. And all I saw was garbage, 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 garbage. That's what that's about. It's not about her. She was the symbol that showed me it was garbage. That's the piece. Because when you focus on inclusion, you come up with a crappy game. In fact, when you focus on inclusion, you come up with a crappy everything. The reason why DEI doesn't work is not because diversity is bad. Diversity is good. Diversity of thought. Diversity of thought is good. But if you focus on DEI for DEI's sake, here's what happens every single time without exception. There is no exception to this rule. None. You cannot find one exception on the planet in the history of DEI. And you rarely ever hear me say 100% rule. I go, good general rule. No, this is a 100% rule. DEI always turns into quotas. Every single time. It does not always begin with quotas. It doesn't. It always ends in quotas. And when you make quotas, now you force diversity. And forced diversity always makes things worse. Let me go back again, say it again, because you didn't hear that right. Forced diversity always makes things worse. Not sometimes, not kinda, not if and when, every single time. Natural diversity, by changing processes to get more diversity. Almost always, that's not always, but almost always makes things better. Diversity usually is a good thing. There are some exceptions, but it's usually a good thing. It usually helps out if it's naturally coming in diversity using processes, not quotas. It's effective. I've taught it before. I have taught inclusion, diversity. I've taught it before. You teach it by processes where things naturally become more diverse. You do not use quotas. DEI always goes to quotas, which means you will have a worse worse outcome to include games. And you can see it. And that was my point. You can see it everywhere. It's failing. Forcing it is not the right answer. So let's see if I can find this here. Jared says, I don't mind games with political message if done right, but it can be hard thing to do, especially if it's ham-fisted or heavy-handed or cartoonishly biased against one side. Also, but then again, if you're also making a game that you know is made for that, and I'll go back to the My Little Pony. My Little Pony is all about that. They're all about messaging of friendship and inclusion. The entire thing is built on that. I'm not mad at it. My daughters love that stuff. It's fine. That's the whole thing. If you're going to buy a My Little Pony game and your kids are little, message is going to be everywhere. But that's okay. That's what it's about. I'm not mad at that. That's what it's about. If you're a My Little Pony, it's all about, oh, don't be mad at the Earth Pony because then when the other one's got wings and you got to love each other. It's all about that. I'm not mad. To your point, if you buy a My Little Pony game and you're mad because there's a message in it, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? I'm talking about a civilization game that took away religion. In a civilization game, you took away religion. That's about the leaders of civilizations, and you put a couple American heroes in there. Yeah. So I'm with you. Depends upon the issue and what you're looking for. I'm not against the message. I'm not. I'm against it being forced. Agreed. And then again, make a DLC. And if you like it, stuff you buy, man, you do you. No anger. No anger at all. So Phil says Rogue One was good. Rogue One, when it comes to the new stuff, is the best of them. I'm not going to say it was good. I would say it was the best of those. That's what I would say. Yes, the best of those. There we go. That's what I would say. But yeah. Mike says something to say on that one. He goes, the end of Rogue One with Vader was exceptional. The rest of the movie was passable. See, I agree. Passable. It was, Mike and I agree on this one. See, you came back, Mike. Nicely done. So yes, you came back. This one's fine. I completely, it was fine. I'm not going to say good, but it's fine. And compared to, okay, how about this? I'll say this. Compared to the garbage they've put out, it was good. How about that? See, I can say something good about it. See, I said something good. Mike learned from me. I said something nice. I said something good. So compared to the garbage they put out, yes, it was good. There we go. There we go. Love that. All right. Half-Life was an amazing use of Doom engine. 100%. Yes. Absolutely. 100%. Yes. All righty. Phil goes on to say, I liked Rogue One because it was about reluctant revolutionaries. Forrest Whitaker was really stretched for that role. He was amazing. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, true. Vivek says, best Star Wars movies, Return of the Jedi. Worst, Revenge of the Sith. Phantom Menace is epic for the Maul, duel, and music. You know what? The one thing I'll give the Menace, right, is it did one thing I didn't like, one thing I did like on this. And this is going to be, I'm going to be geeky on this one. Some of you are going to be mad at me, but I'm going to be geeky on this one. All right. Two things. One, it made the lightsaber battling so much better. I mean, I'll give them that. So much better. So that's for sure amazing. The duels were great. Yes. However, the problem is they wrecked the Force and they wrecked Jedis for two things that I think are important. Jedis were based off of, when they made them originally, were based off of samurai. This is why they use the weapons, even though they don't have to, which is why they use the sword, dueling, that kind of thing. That's what it's about. Well, you don't fight with a non-traditional weapon. So that little bow thing with the two, that's not a thing. You follow tradition. The tradition is the one-handed sword. So going to two is something you wouldn't do. A samurai of Japanese way would not have used a bow stick or something or a staff. He wouldn't have fought with that. He'd have fought with one sword or two swords. That a long one and a smaller one. They blew that. Not just that, they fought two against one. I thought you're knights. It's one-on-one combat. If you're Jedi Knights, you fight one-on-one combat, right? So why would you double up on a guy? You have 4 or 5 guys gonna hit up on one guy. No. So I know it's a little weird. I know it's weird, but those are my issues I didn't like about Phantom Menace. But still, I think the combat was much cooler and much better. So yeah, absolutely. Grace goes to Mike. The suffering in Yemen goes back to Obama. Yes, correct. Look, we've been bombing Yemen for a long time. And I will say this. The thing that's the most impressive about Obama is that he was able to win a Nobel Peace Prize while bombing 7 countries, including Yemen. I mean, who could do that? Somebody beat that. Beat that, Trump. Get a Nobel Peace Prize while bombing 7 countries. Just saying. That's going to be a record I don't think most are going to get. Yeah, I don't think so at all. Andrea says the Jeffersons were funny, though. 100%. Sanford and Son. Yes, great show. Great show. Absolutely. Yes. Shin says, Larry, are you concerned with the commercialization of childhood? How do we deal with the advertising that compels our children towards mindless consumption of games, today's junk food, easy, etc.? I think that's been true since I was a kid. We have made, if you've noticed, if you go back to say before 1960s, probably, there was no such thing as a child-centered family. That's not a thing. No. Now it's a child-centered family. It's all about the children. It's about our kids. That's terrible. Like, wait a minute. You're just saying you spend time. I spend a lot of time with my kids, but it's not all about them. I still have my own life, do my own thing. I don't revolve my world around my kids. That's a terrible idea. If you revolve your world around your kids, you're going to raise bratty kids. That works. And we have lots of bratty kids. Why? Because most parents talk about how their kids are the most important. What does Bill Maher always go? My child's my hero. My child's not my hero. My child's my child. I should be their hero. If I'm not my child's hero, I'm screwing up. My child should not be my hero. I should be theirs. And if I'm not, I'm screwing up. The number one thing to remember when it comes to kids is that kids don't do what we say. Kids do what we do. The number one thing as a parent to be is an example. Number one thing over anything else. There's lots of things, obviously, but tip top, we got to be kind or smart. Yes, those are all good, but none of them matter if you're a good example. Example is number one. Everything else secondary. You got to feed them, take care of them. Number one is example. You'll feed your kids. If not, someone else will feed them. The government feeds kids. You'll be fine. Example. Number one top is example. Everything else secondary. And I think, how do you fix it? By doing that. My daughter's 20. She has a flip phone. Yes. It's a flip phone. Some of you just fell off your chair. It's true. I set an example. Set an example is how you do it. You set an example. And if you don't have enough, get other people to have examples. Remember, for kids to be raised well, what's supposed to happen, people will tell you the best answer is nuclear family. It's not true, but they'll tell you that all the time. You hear all the time. Particularly the Republicans tell you, nuclear family, the best way to raise kids. It's not. Best way to raise kids is with a clan. And that's been demonstrably shown through anthropology for 10,000 years, if not longer. That's the best way. Clan is the best way. Now, can you have within that clan units of nuclear families? Of course. But the best way is clan. When you have other people around, cousins, sisters, brothers, grandparents, uncles, nieces, nephews, that's the best way. Now, the problem is we can't all do that. We can't always afford to live in the same house. We can't always afford to live in the same town. We can't always afford to be together. The system has made it so that's a hard thing to do. So I'm not saying it's that everyone has to do it. I don't do it, right? I'm in the same city with some of my kids' family. I have some of them there, yes, but I can't afford to do it. A lot of people can't, but that's the best way. So if you can't get that, get as close to that as possible, as many positive examples as possible. They're going to be pushed with advertisements. I was too as a kid. I had advertisements on TV. Every day I'd watch hours of TV when I was a kid. And I get commercial after commercial after commercial, commercial. So I think it's always been there, right? So anyway, I think it's just example. That's the answer. More and more example. So, all righty. Mastermind says, I blame the rock stars from the 80s. It's all their fault. I agree. Yes. Missy says, I just watched Drag Race last night. Yes. There we go. Look at that. There we go. Kjan says, Eddie Izzard transitioned, goes by Susie. Is that true? I didn't even know that. I'm going to go check that out. Well, he used to be, so maybe I'm wrong now, but Eddie Izzard, I was talking about earlier, 90s? He was still Eddie Izzard, right? Hold on. I'm looking now. I thought it was funny. I thought he was a funny comedian. Oh, you already did. Well, there we go. Eddie Izzard is now Susie. Susie Izzard is now. Yes, there we go. There we go. All right. Still funny. So I would now say she's funny. He used to be funny. I'm sure she is funny. So there we go. Thank you for that. I didn't actually know that happened. So, all righty. NY Liberty, back to Star Trek. The best part of Discovery, I thought, was a chief engineer and medical officer, married couple, as they didn't make their relationship a focus. Not even focused. It was just there. Oh, I didn't watch Discovery at all. I stopped watching Star Trek after DS9, right? I did try to give a couple other ones a shot. Like I tried to give Voyager a shot, and I was like, this is just garbage. And then I had the other one that came on. Oh, God. It was like the reboot. It was like the earlier, it was called Enterprise, right? It's the earlier, it was called Enterprise. I tried to give that one a shot too, and I was like, it's garbage. So I couldn't watch it after that. I'm too much of a classic Star Trek guy to be watching those things. It didn't do it for me. It just didn't. So, all righty. She goes on to say, Larry, do you feel it's an issue for members of the population do not stem to the media they consume? For example, Asians are often underrepresented in films. What are you talking about? That's not true at all. Okay. Okay. Two parts. One, I know exactly how it feels. I grew up in the 70s, and you could try to find black people on TV. So I know how it feels. I like Star Trek. Look at all the black people in Star Trek. Not that many, so I get that. But let me tell you two parts. First, Asians are underrepresented. The biggest market for films in the planet is China. They put Asian people in every movie now because they're trying to keep the Chinese happy. That's just not true anymore. That was true. And it was really true in the 70s. Some of you don't know this. When Bruce Lee was ethnically Chinese from Hong Kong at the time. Without not Hong Kong is Chinese. It was British at the time, but he's ethnically Chinese. He's from Hong Kong. And when he was in the 70s, he was the master. I mean, he was just the coolest martial arts guy in the world at the time. They wouldn't let him be a lead in any movie, even in American movies. Even in if you remember, his most popular American movie at the time was Enter the Dragon, and he was like third in it, even though he was the star. They had to put a white guy and a black guy above him in it. John Saxon and oh man, I forgot the name of the guy, but two karate guys. They had to put those guys on top. Yeah, remember that. So that was very true. I agree. If you went 70s, 80s, the movie Kung Fu, who was supposed to be about an Asian kid, was played by David Carradine, white guy. They were like, well, we'll make him half Asian. He's a white guy. He just played the Asian guy. If you see the movies of those days, you know who played Genghis Khan in a movie? John Wayne. So you are correct. If you go back 70s, even 80s, but you look now, there's a lot of Asian movies, a lot of people in movies like that, and it's because they're trying to make money in the Chinese market. So I'm not sure that's true in films anymore. There's a lot of Asian people in films now. So, but the second piece is, do I think that people feel it's a problem of a mammoth population of themselves media? No. Here's the reason why. You can consume media now in today's world. I saw it when I was a kid. You can consume media now where you can be seen, right? If you want to watch movies that have Asian people in it, you can easily find that in any platform you want, just by searching within the platform, right? They literally have it in like Netflix as like Black Voices or something. I can watch Black people all day if I want to, right? All day long if I want to. You can watch Asian people all day long if you want to. So today's world, not a thing. First off, there are lots of Asians in movies nowadays anyway, just in general. But if you want, you can just look on YouTube and just find, I don't know, Chinese, Vietnamese. You can probably find Laotian. I don't know if Laotian has much of an industry, but you can probably even find Laotian movies and TV if you wanted to. I don't know if they have much of an industry. I know Vietnam has a little bit of an industry, but I mean, Japan has a massive industry. China has a massive industry. You can find Chinese and Korea, massive industry. So whatever part of Asia you want to find, easily find it. I don't think it's a problem at all. You can easily find it. I mean, in the 70s, we had a movie theater down the road. It's gone now. This is on 161st Street. If anyone knows the area, 161st Street back in the 70s, there was a movie theater. The name of the movie theater was the Earl. That was the name of the movie theater. You can go there. And back in those days, there wasn't timing. You just paid your money and you walked in. And wherever the movie was, it was just playing. So it played one or two movies and then maybe some kind of cartoon or something. We used to have those blaxploitation films in there, like Black Dynamite and Blackula. We would see those in the movie theater. So we could see Black people even in the 70s. Of course, it was those types of movies, but we could see it then. We could. And we'd also get, get books written by Black authors. So we could find them if we wanted to. Now it's far easier. If anyone is going to sit here and say, we need to see ourselves up there in the media, that's just people talking trash. That's insanely, that makes no sense nowadays. You can find feminine, gender neutral, any ethnic background, race, with a simple Google search to find someone who looks like you to be popular in whatever way you want. It's everywhere now. Easy to find. That thing does not exist anymore. That's just people wanting to be victims. It's not a thing anymore. Again, used to be. And I explained a couple examples of what it used to be. Those days are long gone. Whatever you want, you can find. And not just that. For you to like somebody or respect somebody, want to be like somebody, why do they have to look like you? This entire concept's crappy. I loved Captain Kirk when I was a kid. I do not look like Captain Kirk. I loved Captain Kirk when I was a kid. I do not look like Captain Kirk. In case you didn't notice, I don't. Didn't bother me. And I remember this did bother me. I remember this. We were talking, this was a DS9 thing. It was late 90s. Was it late 90s? Maybe early 90s. I think late 90s. Going to like a Star Trek convention. And a white guy had a bald cap on and he painted it brown because he wanted to be like Captain Sisko. Nobody cared. You can't do that now. That's blackface and that's stealing. The guy liked Captain. He was a white guy, but he thought that Captain Sisko, a black captain, was cool, and he thought he was a great guy. He wanted to be like Captain Sisko. So he put on Captain Sisko, for those who don't know, at one point was bald with a goatee. So he put on a bald cap and painted the whole thing brown because Sisko's black, and then gave himself a goatee. Might have been his goatee. He didn't give him that. It was his. He grew his own goatee, but he dyed it black. Yes, that's right. His goatee. That was not a fake goatee. His goatee. Put on. Everybody was happy. Oh, look, he's Sisko. Oh, great. Do that now? He's canceled. And that's stupid. I'm black, and I don't care. Now, you go, Larry, it's blackface. No, blackface is a specific thing. It is a specific look, a specific thing meant to insult and to ridicule. And I think it's crappy and horrible and get canceled. I don't care. But you want to paint your face brown to be like a guy that you like. You want to respect that person and imitate them. I don't care. I'm not mad at it. I thought it was great. Can't do it now. Now you get canceled. So the idea that that guy couldn't like Sisko because he was white and that guy was black, he didn't see himself. Silly. You should like or respect anybody who you like and respect, regardless of their gender, regardless of their ethnic background, skin color, should be about religion. I don't care. Captain Kirk, the actor, is Jewish. I'm not Jewish. I don't care. Love Captain Kirk. Don't care. Doesn't bother me at all. Don't care. So anyway. All righty. Mike says, Larry, if the U.S. was racist, istrophobe, evil, as the left and only the left say, it's true. Why do men try to enter every year and becoming citizens after 20 years? Yeah, you're right. It's yes. Absolutely. You're totally correct. It's just not true. You're right. Yes. All righty. Okay. Joseph says, but Larry, why do you force me to care about Ukraine? Because we keep giving them money. That's the reason. We keep giving them money. And the worst part is the same outcome from 2 years ago is going to happen now, except a whole bunch more people are dead, more money's given out. Yes, absolutely. Grace says, compassion exhaustion is a real thing. You see it in healthcare. You can't take it in every cause. Oh my God, Grace, this is bringing out. I'm glad you said this. Yes. And the other thing happens is you want to care about every single cause. And then if someone doesn't care as much as you care, they're a bad person. Right? So I care about whatever Ukraine. Because Joseph brought it up. I care about Ukraine. Okay, great. Do you? Oh, now you're an evil Putin puppet. Now you're a horrible human being. And you're like, Larry, I want to pay my rent and I'm struggling to do that. So that's my priority. No, but the people of Ukraine, you're a Putin puppet. Who's Putin? I got to pay rent, man. I don't care. And you're right. And I get to a point where now, because I hear I get insulted, now I go, well, now I don't. Now I hope the Russians win now. Now I don't care. Now I hate Ukraine. Why? Well, you hate Ukraine. Well, because you keep making me feel crappy about it. And I don't care. I got my other issues that I care about. You're totally correct. We expect everyone to care about our issue as much as we do. And if they don't, we insult them. No, people care about certain things. People care about certain things. And that's okay. And that is okay. Yes. So, all righty. Dave says Palestinians put up videos on it, beat you. Oh, well, I don't want to go there. Light-skinned Mexicans run against color. Okay, here's what I'll say. I don't want to. You're going to get me canceled, Dave. Here's what I'm going to say. Colorism absolutely exists throughout the world. Yes, true. And colorism, to be forward, again, for most people who know this, nowhere near as bad in America compared to the places. There is colorism in America. There absolutely is. I know I'm light-skinned. I know there is colorism in America. Absolutely. Not as bad as the places. Not as bad. And yes, look, are we perfect here with women in America? No. Still to this day, women get killed by their lovers every day in America. That's still a thing. That's still a thing. But again, I'm saying relative to others. That's what I'm saying. Relative to others. Yes. That's what I'll say. 100%. All right. John says, Larry, as always, you are right. Correct. Phil says, everybody loved Mace Windu. That's kind of funny. But the reality of it is, everyone loves like Sam Sam Jackson. They all love Sam Jackson. That's the thing, right? Yes. So Robert says the idea that racism/sexism automatically equates to violence is a misnomer. I didn't say that. I gave you one example of that. One example, which is violence. One example. If you look at racial violence in the 1920s, way higher. I mean, not even close. Way higher. I give it as one example, right? Racism does not inherently result in. And, oh yeah, of course it is. Yes, it is. Yeah, of course. Sure, it's a very short jump from dehumanization to violence. That's my point. It's a short. When you dehumanize somebody, it is easier to be violent against them. So you're right. It doesn't equate to violence. That's true. Does it mean there will be more of it if there's more dehumanization? Yes. That's not a misnomer. If there is more dehumanization, there will be more violence. If you're unsure of that, you could do a little research on what happened in the 1930s and 40s in Germany. Utter dehumanization, utter violence. America, before, say, 1860, utter dehumanization, utter violence. I mean, Robert, I think you're black like I am, so you know that if you are a descendant of, if you're an if you're an American descendant of slaves, prior to 1865 or so, your entire bloodline is filled with RAPE, filled with it. It was systemic. Black women were property. Do as you like. So that, and by the way, that is violence. So dehumanization, more of that means more violence. It means more of it. So yes, that's what I'm saying. We aren't as bad. And again, there's a big difference between dehumanizing someone and voting for them for president. Big difference. So yes, Dave goes, but it's baklava keto. It is not, and I don't eat it, but I do like it. Yes. And yes, it is honey. Correct. It is honey. Absolutely. Yes. All right. Let's see if I can go down here. Phil says the children yearn for the mines, Minecraft. Yeah, but mine send me in there, so maybe it's me. Bombing Yemen is beyond stupid. Bombing all of them is dumb. We should leave them alone. You're right, Ryan. This is stupid. We should not be involved in this at all. It's terribly involved with it. We shouldn't be involved with the Middle East at all. We should have walked away a long time ago. We shouldn't be involved in Yemen at all. We should have walked away a long time ago. We shouldn't be involved in Ukraine anymore. We should have walked away a long time ago. We shouldn't be involved in all these things. But now we're there, so now we have to. Cheyenne says, I had to stop my wife from smothering my son every time he was sad. He told me thank you once. Yes. Now that's for the woman. Now for the kid. These are the 3 words you want to use to your wife or to your kid's mother. You're going to be married to your kid's mother. If it's a boy, here are the 3 words that you want to use, and he needs to hear them when you use them. Same 3. There's 3 words, different ones, and it's not leave her alone. It is stop babying him. Those are 3 words to tell the mother of your sons. Stop babying him, and say it often, and he needs to hear it so that he realizes, oh, what she's doing is babying me. I should not like this. I should be repelled from this. I should not be babied. So those are 3 words. If you are talking to your son's mother, it is stop babying him. And the 3 words talking to your daughter's mother is leave her alone. Those are your 3 words. See, your parenting for the day is your parenting message is done. There we go. Yes. So yes. All righty. Phil says, I found Sid Meier's Colonization on Steam. You couldn't make that game today. Yes, I actually enjoyed it. I played Colonization too. I actually enjoyed that game too. Yes, I did. Absolutely. I did like that. All righty. I do want to grab some more of these if I can. All right. Okay, Shin says, Larry, you're totally correct about dehumanization. Yes, it is horrible. We don't want that at all. Dehumanization is what makes people do the horrible things they always do. Yes. So, all righty. No, but Mike says, there are conflicts across the globe. Why do the left care about Ukraine but not Sudan? I don't care about either of them. That's not true. I don't want to be, that's not accurate. I don't want to fall into your trap. It's that I don't care. I actually do care. I would like the Sudanese to not be at war. I would like that. I would like the Ukrainians to not be at war. I would like the Israelis to not be at war. I would like them all to not be at war. And if we could do something besides fueling the fire on all of them, which is what we actually do, I would like us to do that, not fuel the fire. We fuel the fire and make things worse. I'd like us not to. That's what I mean. So I do care. I'd like us to do whatever it would take to not fuel the fire. That's the issue. So yes. All righty. Shan says, people love Mr. T. True. Dave says, Captain Kirk says he was harassed the green alien. Yeah, kind of. But that's okay. I still loved him. I didn't care. I did. So, all righty. Vivek says, I don't know if it's still on Netflix, but there's a great show about Bruce Lee's life. It's called Legend of Bruce Lee. He was absolutely that. Yes. Minor Threat says, way more blacks and Asians in mainstream Hollywood films, but Asian has increased. True. Yes. If after BLM, if you were a black actor, particularly a black female actor, oh my God, you couldn't stop getting business. Like crazy. Couldn't stop. NNY Liberty says, lots of Jackie Chan movie imports from Hong Kong, South Australia before he got into an American movie. True. Yes. Absolutely. And many of them were dubbed. I remember that. Most of Bruce Lee's movies, when they came to America, were dubbed. And I saw them in that theater. I saw dubbed Bruce Lee movies in the Earl in the 70s. So, yes, absolutely true. John says, some of the wokeness in movies is because of China too. Yes, that's true. Some nationalized cannot be shown to Tibet, shown to be good like Tibet, and other changes. Yeah, they actually, they're far more racist than we are against black people in China. When they like put the pictures up, they'll pull the black actors out. I'm not making that up. That's true. Like they'll do a separate poster, pull the black actors out because, scratch that. So, yeah. Dave, Bruce Lee was actually born in the United States. Is that true? He was raised in Hong Kong, though, I thought, right? I didn't know he was. I'm pretty sure he came from Hong Kong. I think that's true. Phil says he was in the Green Hornet. Yep. They wouldn't let him be. Thank you for that story. This is a true story. They put Bruce Lee in the Green Hornet where he played the second Kato. Like the Green Hornet was the white guy, and they let Kato be the second guy. They let him do that. But they wouldn't let him be the star in Kung Fu. They put David Carradine, the white guy. Yeah. Absolutely true. Yes. That's crazy. So, yeah. All right. Chan says, kids hate commercials anyhow. We used to love them when we were kids. We'd sing along to them. Yes. Larry says, community. Yes. Yes. Absolutely. Yes. Kim says, parents put their children on a pedestal. They believe the kids always come first. And I think that's the worst thing, right? If you think your kids come first, it's going to hurt your marriage. It's going to hurt your marriage. I'm not joking. If you put your kids ahead of your spouse, you just put your spouse second or third or fourth. How long is that going to last? So, yeah, it's an issue. Yes. And then Liberty says, don't forget Obama bombed 2 hospital doctors without borders. Yeah, and a wedding. Yeah. Dave says, Larry, Trump's shooting for a peace prize while Russia's violating a ceasefire. Look, Trump might get a peace prize if he knocks out both Ukraine and Israel. He could. It's possible. He'll get it. But can he do it while bombing 7 countries? Just saying, that's an Obama record. I'm not sure he can do that, right? I'm not sure he can do that. That's a big deal. Yes. Mastermind says, midichlorians are stupid. Midichlorians are so insane stupid, I want to vomit. Like I talk about, I want to vomit. They're so bad. They are absolutely terrible. Yes, absolutely. Is this to me? So the second civil rights legislation got passed in the 60s, people of color were on equal footing. Is that to me? I've never said that. I hope people don't think that's true. Yeah, I don't think that was true. I mean, maybe. Someone, I wouldn't say that. I don't know where you got that from, Shinda. Did I say that? I don't think I said that. So, yeah, I don't know why we would. So, all right. John says the only thing the U.S. has done in recent times to calm things down was the Abraham Accords. Yes and no. And the reason why I'll say, and this I think Trump has learned from this error. Trump made an error. And some of you Trump supporters will not be happy, but I think if you hear me out, you'll agree. When Trump came in his first time, he believed in a lot of the establishment swamp people who were around him. And they delayed everything he was trying to achieve when it came to his foreign policy. And I think that concept of the Abraham Accords was good, but it needed more. Abraham Accords by itself was not successful. Abraham Accords needed more to be successful. Like that was the first chunk, and there had to be more chunks, right? And the problem is because he lost the election. And when he lost the election, he was delayed in getting the Abraham's Accord put together because the swamp didn't want any of that. The swamp wanted to make sure that never happened. And so they were slowing him down on everything. And again, you can do your homework. That actually happened. It's a true story. That's what happened. So then at one point, he gets the Abraham's Accord done, but it's too late for him during his presidency. So then he loses the election. He can't finish it. And that's why it didn't work. So the concept was good, but it didn't actually work because he was too late but this time he's like throwing everything at the wall. So I think he's changed in that regard. So yes. Shinzab's talking to Mike. Okay, there we go. It wasn't me. Okay, I didn't think I said that. That's good. So yeah. Anyway, that's where I'm going. Let me go to. Okay, Vivek says representation doesn't matter. Having a good work ethic does. Asians have the best advantage income, and Indian Americans on average earn the most. Indian Americans are doing very well now, and right alongside, if not sometimes beating them, is actually Nigerian Americans now. The immigrants are doing very well in America, as they always do. So I do think they do it very often. It's a common. Immigrants often have lots of income, and it's because they prioritize the income. They prioritize that. They prioritize ownership, those types of things. Yeah, but then their kids, not always. Guys, I'm gonna ask you right now if you could please click the button known as like. Please do that. Share it if you have not. I do appreciate sharing. Please become a member if you have not, and subscribe and follow me. All those things matter. This was a very odd AMA. I didn't think we'd stay on the same topic for so long, but I don't mind. It's all good. I will let you guys go now. I will not be on tomorrow, but I will be on Monday evening and again Tuesday, obviously, for my radio show. So I'll be on then. When this is over, please do me a favor. Put your favorite video game that you played in the chat. Favorite video games you played in the chat. I will see you all very soon.